Welcome to the Inject Creativity Live Show. My name is Rob the Robot from the Adobe Education team. This is a free online show for primary, secondary and post-secondary educators interested in enhancing digital literacy, communication and creativity in the teaching and learning process. Here are your hosts, Dr. Tim Kitchen and Erin Raethke.
Thanks, Rob, and welcome to Inject Creativity Live, a show based on creativity for all in education, with a focus on Adobe tools and resources. Welcome, Erin.
Hi, Tim, and welcome to everyone who's joined us live and those watching on demand via the Adobe for Education YouTube channel or the Australasian Adobe and Education Facebook group for this, the 77th episode of Inject Creativity Live, being recorded in August of 2022.
For those of you who are with us live, we do encourage you to say hi in the chat, share where you're from, and add some comments throughout the show.
We have the wonderful Tim Cosgrove in Canada in the background monitoring the chat for us, and he will share the most relevant comments as they come in.
Let's start this episode with an acknowledgement of country.
We respect and honour all Indigenous people from the lands we reach out to during this event. We acknowledge their stories, traditions and living cultures. We acknowledge them as the first educators and the first creatives, and we commit to building a brighter future together.
Now, I usually live in the Kulin Nation, otherwise known as Melbourne, Victoria, but I'm actually coming to you today from the Gadigal land and waterways of the Eora Nation, otherwise known as Sydney, Darling Harbour, New South Wales, Australia, where the Adobe Sydney office is located.
And I'm coming to you from the country of the Jagera, Yugara and Agurapul people from around the area, otherwise known as Brisbane, Queensland, Australia.
Let's welcome our techie whiz and Adobe Senior Customer Success Manager, Jerry Wong, to the stage. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, everyone. I'm coming to you from the home of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, otherwise known as Sydney, New South Wales. And welcome to Sydney, Tim. During this episode, we will be hearing from Adobe Education leader, Jason Lane.
We'll be looking at the results of the recent Regen Student Film Competition.
We'll be promoting the Apac Adobe Education Summit in September.
We'll also be sharing a number of Adobe-related education resources and professional learning opportunities for you to take back to your schools, universities, and other places of learning.
We do hope you enjoy this episode.
And if you do, please share it with your colleagues and wider education networks via the Adobe for Education YouTube channel.
You're watching Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raethke.
All right, let's meet our special guest for this episode and welcome back to the show, Adobe Education leader and Microsoft Innovative Educator expert, Jason Lane. Hello, Jason.
Hi, Jason. It's great to have you back to the show. So for those who haven't met you before, please tell us a little bit about where you teach and what you teach.
Thanks, Erin. Yes, I'm Jason Lane. I'm situated near Erin in Brisbane, Queensland. I teach at Villanova College in Coorparoo in Brisbane, and my main areas are, well, I'm the e-learning director of the school that I teach in, and also I teach across visual art, technologies, and the design curriculum.
Okay, Jason, tell us something interesting about yourself that not many people would know about.
Well, I wish more people knew this, but I play music in a band. I play bass and lead and rhythm guitar, so I like to kind of go between the three of them. I don't think I'm very good at any one of them, so maybe I should make a choice and just stick to it instead of trying to be all things. But yeah, no, I love my music, love playing live, and just love getting out there.
Nothing wrong with being a jack of all trades. So, Jason, speaking of extra trades, what will you be sharing with us in this episode?
Okay, well, this is something that I kind of tripped over as part of a Christmas present to my family last year, and it's Photoshop neural filters. And as an educator, I was trying to find a way to bring it into the classroom, and so that's what I'm going to share with you today.
Excellent. Well, we're really looking forward to hearing from you very soon.
Now it's time for a quick Inject Creativity Live Adobe Express tip.
All right, folks, I'm going to share my screen. It's going to look a little bit weird as I do that while I'm in the Sydney office, so just bear with me while I jump into Adobe Express. And in the last episode, we shared the new multi-page way of working with Adobe Express to create a multi-page PDF or a multi-page document. What I'd like to share with you now is going into the web page side of Adobe Express. So I've just opened up a new project.
Yes, I did spy some new little bit buttons that have appeared in there, but I'm not sure how many we have time to share, Tim.
Oh, well, we're just going to show you a nice new way of doing a title. Now, traditionally, when you add a title, it wants you to get an image, and then it sort of dominates that whole first part of your web page. However, now we have a wonderful little tool down the bottom here. It's next to photo, which has been there forever. Now we've got short cover. And if we click short cover, we don't need to dominate that whole section. We can just have an image appearing as a relatively small banner at the top of your page. So I could have my title there. I'll just wait for that to load. I'll let's bring in something that relates to color. Oh, did I spell color with a U as it should be spelled?
Nah, but that is a good tip. If you're searching for photos in an American-based site like Adobe, you might have to swap out the English and the American spelling. Sometimes that'll take a U or so just to get some different results depending on the tags that are added to that image.
It kind of does my head in. But there you go. You can see how we've got now a short title. Now, of course, the other feature that is there, instead of having it as a short or as a full covered title, we can do a split layout as an introduction as well, which I must admit I haven't used yet, but it's there. It's now applicable to the start of our web pages in Adobe Express. So there's some pretty cool features for you, Erin. What do you think?
It's great. You can do like a little left-right combo. It's really, really good. And it's a surprising and welcome change to have these little tools added into the page area of Adobe Express.
Now, Jerry, I'll get you to put up slide number 23. There we go. We've got a brand new button also now on Adobe Express for educators and students. And if you're a K-12 or higher ed, you should now be able to see a resources button that takes you directly to a whole lot of education resources, some of which are on the Education Exchange, but you don't need to go to the Education Exchange. They're all built in now into Adobe Express. So it's like a one-stop shop for lots of resources, worksheets, all sorts of exciting things. I gave a bit of a demo of it in the last episode if you want to see a bit more about that, but now at least you can see where that link is and have a bit of a play yourself. But Erin, not everyone has got that resources link, do they?
That's correct. We do want to point out that where it says resources for education license users, if you have a more standardized license, like one that you pay for, or you're using the free version of Adobe Express, you will see the same icon in the same location, but it is called oh my goodness, learn instead of resources. That's right. And if you click on that button, it takes you to the short, sharp tutorials on how to use Adobe Express.
That's a great way to learn more about it. So get involved with either the Learn button, but if you're an educator, have a look at the amazing resources on Adobe Express.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raethke.
Over 1,700 students from about 40 schools around Australia and internationally registered for the recent Regeneration International Short Film Competition.
The winning short film for the secondary school section was from Kamo High School in New Zealand, and it was titled Change Is Now. Let's have a look at this wonderful short film.
Earth, population 8 billion. And home for 1.7 million different species of animals, plants, insects, and algae. Look at what we have done. War and conflict, global warming, pollution, deforestation. Mankind's search for a new beginning has already begun. Why are we looking to the stars for a new home when we can't even look after the one we have been blessed with? Mother Nature has been fighting back, unsure if we are deserving of a second chance. We beg for your forgiveness. We have learned from our mistakes. We have time. We have will. We have each other. Earth, our home, our hope. Our time for change is now.
Isn't that wonderful? What an amazing piece. Really, really impressive. And a great use of Premiere Pro, Photoshop, and a non-Adobe product, Blender, which you don't often see being used by secondary school students, but really impressive to see them doing that. It's worth noting now that we're going to have some special announcements later this year about some of the 3D tools that are available for Adobe. And stay tuned for some very special announcements about that coming up soon. You can watch this film again and find out more about the Regen Festival via timkitchen.net, my website.
I've just popped the link into the chat for everyone watching the live stream. Make sure you check out the other winners with the amazing film called The Power of Five by wonderful students from Spencer Street Primary School in Melbourne that we showed in the previous episode.
Hi everyone, I'm Tanya Abbott from the Global Education team here at Adobe for Education. I'm so excited that you are watching Inject Creativity Live. Please check us out with the Adobe Creative Educator program and be on the lookout for all the amazing challenges that we have every month. See you soon.
The 2022 Apac Adobe Education Summit is happening on Wednesday, the 28th of September.
So if you haven't done so already, please do register at adobe.ly/apac-edu-summit22. We have already had over 2,000 views to the Summit site.
It's actually
going to be a great event.
Great event, yeah.
Jinx! It is going to be a great event, and let's meet some of the presenters.
I'm going to be at the APAC 2022 Adobe Summit. I am looking forward to sharing some of the work that I'm doing, learning some of the things that you are doing.
Clara here from the Adobe Education team. I lead our global education community programs, and I'm excited to see you at the APAC Adobe Education Summit.
Just to get some new ideas, it's great to see the keynote speaker, and I particularly love picking up tips from my peers as well. So always time well spent attending the summit.
Hi, Ben Forter here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the APAC Adobe Education Summit.
It's a great opportunity to work with and learn from an array of colleagues who I admire and respect, but also the presenters who are coming look to be absolutely amazing.
I'm Tacey Trowbridge, and I can't wait to see you at the APAC Adobe Education Summit.
It's an awesome event filled with educators who wants to empower everyone with the use of Adobe tools and technologies.
It's a great way of networking with teachers from all over the world and learning more about Adobe tools in the classroom.
Hi everyone, my name's Dr. Tim Paxton, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you at the APAC Adobe Education Summit.
Well, Adobe have a new resource that maps the Adobe Education Exchange teaching resources to the Australian curriculum called School Project and Lesson Ideas with Adobe.
So look up adobe.ly/AC-projects with an S to make the most of this new resource and share it with your colleagues.
Hi, I'm Tacey Trowbridge, head of Adobe's Thought Leadership and Advocacy. Thanks for watching Inject Creativity Live. And if you're excited about creativity, take a listen to the Creative Educator podcast.
Let's welcome Adobe Education leader Jason Lane back to the stage to share with us. Over to you, Jason.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Erin, and good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to show something with you that, it was quite, I suppose, an accident, a happy accident that I stumbled across trying to come up with some interesting Christmas presents, you could say, and it just developed from there into a great unit that I offer at Villanova with our Year 7 art students. So I hope you enjoy what I'm about to present. So I'll just share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm assuming that we're good to go, and I'll get started talking about Photoshop neural filters. So I'm not new to Photoshop, and I imagine many of us have been using Photoshop for quite some time. But what I wanted to talk to you about is neural filters. And so this here is a family photo. I'm a child of the 70s. And back when I was a child, there was this thing called pixie photos, where you'd go along to a shopping mall and you'd get a happy snap taken. And on the right-hand side is a photo that I dug up of me and my sister and two brothers. And so the photo, as you can tell from the original scan, is quite washed out. It's really on its last legs. And I tried to use different software and some of the filters that I'd known about in Photoshop for some time to resurrect it, to get the colors back, and nothing was working. But at the same time, I was aware that neural filters was a new feature of the product. And so I thought I'd go there just to see if there was anything that I had missed or wasn't aware of. And lo and behold, that's certainly what happened. So as you can see by this single image, and that's me at the front here wearing my Happy Hippo shirt, you can see that I applied a simple colorized filter. And it didn't take me very long just working with the neural filter settings and the sliders to bring some real color and the image that you're seeing here out of that very dated and washed out scanned image that we had in the house. And so then, of course, I was able to print it to a high resolution, and that was the Christmas gift. So that's kind of where this started. It started on a bit of a personal journey, just tinkering at home, trying to create something from an old memory, a happy memory in the family. And in doing that, I was then challenged as an educator to think, how do I bring this into my practice in school? This is how we get to the neural filters, but I'll show you that in a moment as well. So this is my school, and this year I'm teaching Year 7 visual art, and we have a unit based on urban landscapes where we look at Howard Arkley as a focus artist. And what I'm trying to do as an Adobe education leader and a visual art teacher in my school is to blend technology and traditional art practices together. And so I'm trying to find ways that I can use products like Photoshop to encourage students to think more broadly, creatively, to also think deeply in some senses about how artists create work and the aesthetics that they use. And that's where, for me, neural filters has been an interesting journey this year. So this is what I get the students to do. This is a bit of a snapshot of what it ends up looking like. And this is where we work with images from the school, like the one that you just saw. And I get the students to use neural filters to rapidly come up with ideas for artworks and to think about symbolism and meaning from using this process. So this is an example of student work, and what I've got in each of these slides, on the left is the before or a similar shot, and on the right is the after. So here is a student creating meaning from a photo and using neural filters in the process. So you can see here how the student is attaching symbolism and meaning to the artwork, calling it new beginnings, saying that the green represents a healthy environment, the red shows courage. And so this was quite interesting for me to see that the students could work with the same photo, and just by adjusting sliders, they could look at symbolism and how they could construct meaning in artworks. In the next example, we've got the same thing happening here. Again, it's the same kind of approach where the students are naming artworks, and they're looking at colour symbolism in particular, and how that relates to their view of the school. And in this last image, this is a really lovely, vibrant image again, created through the neural filter process, where the student's looking at the rich history and the vibrant workspace that is our college. So that's some examples of student work. And this is Year 7 work, and this is why I wanted to show it in my 10-minute spiel here, because sometimes we think that Photoshop is out of the reach of students, but I think that depending on what elements of Photoshop you use, that's not the case. And I was able to use Photoshop here as a rapid prototyping process, you could say, to get students to think about how they connect to our college just by working over the top of photos and applying filters, and then asking themselves, how does that connect with meaning and symbolism? So these are some examples that I'll run through now. And there's 2 filters in particular that I'll demonstrate, but there's quite a lot in the package, as you'll see, and there's even more coming. And so the ones that I like to use is particularly the color transfer, where you can apply the aesthetics of an artist, and you'll see that in a moment, and the style transfer, which is using something more deeply, what I liken to the toolkit of another artist. So these are some examples that we're going to go into just now. So I'm going to jump out of this, and we're going to go into Photoshop. Okay, so if we go into neural filters,
normally brings up a little widget,
yes,
doesn't it? Yeah.
It's almost as though I've got just a problem with my screen presenting at the moment. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's loading now.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry about this.
The gremlins know you're live, Jace. That's all it is.
They do. Yeah, I'm sorry about this. Now, first of all, I mentioned a wait list. And so these are the features here that are current and work quite well. The beta ones are still in development, as you can imagine. But what I like is I'm keeping an eye on these wait list filters as well, ones that are coming soon, and we can upvote them, of course. The ones that I use mainly would be the style transfer and the color transfer. And as you hover over them, you get these like little windows that give you a bit of an insight into what you might expect when you use the filters. So very quickly, if I go into style transfer as one of my go-tos, this is where I get students to very simply load up and to toggle on the style transfer mode. And by simply going through these presets, you'll see a bit of a processing dialogue here. You'll see the mechanics, or I suppose the structure of the artwork, or the source image, and the color scheme applied to the artwork. And what I like about this is that this is a great discussion that you can have with students, where you can say, how has this artist's work been applied? Where can you see that some of the color scheming or the way that they simplify images has been applied? And so you've got Van Gogh, you've got Monet, you've got some great famous artists that are just sitting in this little style transfer library. And what you can even do, and this is what I do with Howard Arkley, is we load up our own. So I give students a folder of neural filter artworks to experiment with. These are all examples of works that come from our related artist. And you can see how, as we load up these style transfers, this might take a little bit longer because of the detail in the image. You'll start to see the outlining, the color scheming come into the work. So that's the style transfer. I'll wait for this to finish. But underneath that, in the beta section, but it still works very well, we use it all the time, is the color transfer method. And that's the example that I was showing you of student work before. There's some other great ones too. Landscape Mixer, I haven't played with that one yet, but it looks fantastic. And the smart portrait modes, there are some other modes that work really well if you're working specifically with photos, and it uses the AI to recognize facial features. So we're still waiting for this to come. I hope it gets there in a moment. But yeah, I've been really impressed with neural filters, and I'm using them now to generate ideas, to discuss concepts about artworks. And I love the fact that it seems to be a space in Photoshop that is growing. Whoa, that's crazy. That's awesome. And also a space where they're looking for user input. I'm really impressed with that.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it, Jason? And these are relatively new filters that were only announced in the last couple of years. At Adobe Max, we announce all our new features and new apps and new new things that are coming into the world of Adobe. And of course, we're going to be promoting Adobe Max very shortly. Was there anything else you wanted to quickly share, Jason? Because we're just about out of time.
I guess I would love to show more, but I just, I'm sorry that there was gremlins on my system. Color transfer, I think this is one of the examples where, you can very quickly click buttons and students can see lots of different variations of work. And I just love the fact that students get so engrossed in it, and they keep saving versions of their work, and they're saying, I like this and I like this one. So it's a great way for students to develop ideas and develop confidence as artists. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great rabbit hole. Thank you so much, Jason.
Yeah, indeed. Well said.
Hi there, it's Claudio from the Adobe Global EDU team. Thanks for watching Inject Creativity Live. If you haven't already, join the Adobe Creative Educator program.
Thanks, Claudio. We currently have about 1,145,000 teachers who have joined the Adobe Education Exchange and 57,000 who have at least enrolled, if not completed, level 1 of the Adobe Creative Educator program.
If you look up adobe.ly/ACE, you can do the Creativity for All course on the Adobe Education Exchange at any time on demand and get your ACE Level 1 badge. Alternatively, Dr. Kitchen and I run the Be a Creative Educator course on almost a monthly basis, and this helps guide teachers through Level 1. So look up adobe.ly/Creative Educator and note that the next opportunities for this course are on October 27 and November 22, and they'll be starting at 4 p.m, which will be daylight savings time by then.
Erin, we mentioned Adobe Max just before when we were talking to Jason. Adobe Max is Adobe's largest global event.
It is where Adobe announces new apps, as you mentioned, new features within current apps, and celebrates digital creativity to a global audience.
This year, Adobe Max is a hybrid event that will be held from October 18 to 20 with about 6,000, we've had to reduce it down to 6,000 face-to-face attendees, and yet hundreds, if not millions, joining us online from all parts of the globe.
You can register at max.adobe.com to stay in touch and find out more about the world's biggest and best digital creativity event and join the education stream.
You're watching Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raethke.
If you're on Facebook and not already a member of the Australasian Adobe Education Community Facebook group, please join via facebook.com/groups/AUSAEL.
Join us and keep regularly involved with Adobe in Education and the wider community.
We have a monthly newsletter called Adobe in Education Update Australasia.
And please do complete the contact form at adobe.ly/contact-edu-APAC if you don't already get this publication each month, and join the email list.
Let's get a bit of familiar music in the background, see if you recognize that little tune there. Let's bring Jason and Jerry back up to the screen for our farewell. Our next Inject Creativity Live event, episode 78, thank you very much, will feature the amazing Peter Hutton from Future Schools.
Episode 79 will feature Adobe Education leader Mark Christie.
We'll be recording these episodes on Wednesday the 14th of September at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Join us via the Adobe for Education YouTube channel if you can live.
And for those watching live, get ready to move to adobe.ly/edu-meet-APAC for our brief fireside chat.
And before I say thank you to Erin, Jerry, and Tim Cosgrove in the background, Jason, do you have any other words of wisdom for everybody?
Just thanks very much, and really appreciate the comments from Roland and Ben in the chat too. Yeah, awesome. Go neural filters. Stick with them.
Thanks, Jason. And special thank you to Erin, to Jerry, and to Tim Cosgrove, all the way from Canada, for helping to put this show together.
And here is Rob the Robot to sign off this episode.
See you later, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of Inject Creativity Live. For those who are watching live, join us now via adobe.ly/edu-meet-APAC for an informal, non-recorded fireside chat. to meet and interact with our presenters and other audience members. During this informal chat, you will be able to complete the feedback form and apply for a professional development certificate. If you are not watching this live, join us live next time. Use this QR code or link to find out about dates and topics. And use this QR code and link to find out about other Adobe in Education professional learning opportunities. On behalf of the Adobe in Education team, keep being creative.